This was just over 100 years ago. And before that, humans flying was only a fairy tale, only an idea, only something that people dreamed of or thought of, but were not able to do. And this is kind of the time that it began to be possible. Fast forward 112 years or so, and we have really changed. I mean, our world entirely has changed, and a big part of that is because of what these Wright brothers started, and that developed into everything we have today and everything we do and accomplish in this world. So we could almost say we've gone from the Wright brothers to Elon Musk and SpaceX or NASA. And people always want to keep going higher and higher above the earth. Well, I'm here for one reason, and that is to warn you. Yes, you, the person who is listening to this right now. I want to warn you because the prophets warned us. And I've been able to understand what they were warning about. And I want you to understand it as well. And I want you to understand that it is not anything that I'm putting forth. This is something that the prophets wrote about. And they were very clear about what they wrote. And it's just in a language where, like, the idea of a propeller didn't exist. The idea of a rocket engine didn't exist. So these prophets were left to describe these things with the language that they had in the time that they lived, which was a long time ago. But let's listen to some of these prophets talking about some of the things that would be coming on this earth at the end and giving us warning about. Why would the prophets warn us about rockets or airplanes or flying? Because look at what it's done for our world. It's totally changed our world. Just in 100 years. So why would the prophets be warning us about these things? Well, here's the basic reason why. Because the prophets knew something that we didn't know, and we are just learning now. And that was that the place that they want to go is heaven. And they're trying to climb up their own way. And there's really only one way, and that is the Son of God. Enoch saw these rockets, and maybe the space shuttle. But let's listen to what he says.
And in those days the angels will gather together, and will throw themselves towards the east. Upon the Parthians and Medes they will stir up the kings, so that a disturbing spirit will come upon them, and they will drive them from their thrones. And they will come out like lions from their lairs, and like hungry wolves in the middle of their flocks. And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones. And the land of my chosen ones will become before them a tramping ground and a beaten track. And in those days Sheol will open its mouth, and they will sink into it and their destruction. Sheol will swallow up the sinners in front of the faces of the chosen. And it came to pass after this, that I saw another host of chariots with men riding on them. And they came upon the wind from the east and from the west. And it came to pass after this, that I saw another host of chariots with men riding on them. And they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, Start. 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
And the sound of the noise of their chariots was heard. And when this occurred, the holy ones observed it from heaven, and the pillars of the earth were shaken from their foundations, and the sound was heard from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven throughout the day. And all will fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable. In the 50th year, in the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month of the life of Enoch, in that parable, I saw how the heaven of heavens was shaken violently, and the host of the Most High and the angels, 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, were extremely disturbed. And then I saw the head of days sitting on the throne of his glory, and the angels and righteous were sitting around him. And a great trembling seized me, and fear took hold of me, and my loins collapsed and gave way, and my whole being melted, and I fell upon my face. And the holy Michael sent another holy angel, one of the holy angels, and he raised me. And when he raised me, my spirit returned, for I had been unable to endure the sight of that host, and the disturbance, and the shaking of heaven, shaking of heaven. And the holy Michael said to me, "What sight has disturbed you like this? Until today has the day of his mercy lasted, and he has been merciful and long-suffering towards those who dwell upon the dry ground. And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones, and the land of my chosen ones will become before them a tramping ground and a beaten track, tramping ground and a beaten track. But the city of my righteous ones will be a hindrance to their horses."
Now I want you to be careful how you hear, because he's talking about the land of God's elect ones. And here he says the city of his righteous ones. And in my understanding, that city is up in the sky.
But the city of my righteous ones will be a hindrance to their horses, and they will stir up slaughter amongst themselves, and their own right hand will be strong against them. And a man will not admit to knowing his neighbor, or his brother, nor a son his father, or his mother, until, through their death, there are corpses enough, and their punishment it will not be in vain. And in those days Sheol will open its mouth, and they will sink into it.
The weird part about it is, space is so incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit.
And their destruction. Sheol will swallow up the sinners in front of the faces of the chosen.
Because apparently this is something that we're debating. I have no idea why. And it's not okay to think that the earth is flat.
And I began to speak the third parable, about the righteous and about the chosen. Blessed are you, the righteous and the chosen, for your lot will be glorious. And the righteous will be in the light of the sun, and the chosen in the light of eternal life. And there will be no end to the days of their life, and the days of the holy will be without number. And they will seek the light, and will find righteousness with the Lord of spirits. Peace be to the righteous with the Lord of the world. And after this it will be said to the holy, that they should seek in the heaven the secrets of righteousness, the lot of faith. For it has become bright as the sun upon the dry ground, and darkness has passed away. And there will be ceaseless light, and to a limit of days they will not come, for darkness will have been destroyed previously. I saw how the heaven of heavens was shaken violently, and the host of the Most High and the angels, 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, were extremely disturbed.